Any of you wonder what it's like to haul out a boat in a remote, sketchy place? Well, this is the video you want to watch. Today we're hauling out Trade Runner in the bottom of Lombok, and I've never hauled out in a more sketchy environment than this. I guess follow along, see how it's going to turn out. So, a few nights ago, we found ourselves in a bit of a situation. So, we've run aground. We're on the reef with one hull. There's a 60-knot squall came through out of nowhere. If you haven't seen this video, then go back to last week and watch it. But long story short, there was a bit of damage, bent propeller shaft and some damage to the hull, and this required we haul out. So that's what we're doing this week. This is Marie, my partner from France. This is our 4-month-old baby Eli. This is me, Vernon, Swiss Kiwi. And all together we live and travel on our Crowther Windspeed 39, named Trade Runner. Serious job, baby. You steering? You're going to steer this wheel? Okay, so this is a very narrow channel and it's very shallow. So we're just trusting Steve here, 75-year-old Australian guy that's been here for a long time. He knows his way around and he's just towing us up. So I've lifted up the rudders. Obviously the dagger boards are up. We're drawing 80 centimetres.
Welcome to Lombok!
The locals are stoked we're coming up. And I think he hasn't hauled out for a long time. Someone illegally built a bridge across the river and he can't get normal boats up the river anymore. A little channel's been dug around the side of the bridge, which is only 1 metre deep, but we should just make it. Towing up the river went surprisingly well, and before we knew it we were up at the ramp. Sadly, we discovered that there was a 3-knot current running north and a 15 to 20 knot wind blowing south, so this was not going to be an easy mission.
Yeah, it is not really looking easy. There's still current here, and sadly today it's still windy. We waited 3 days to have a better conditions, but it's still kind of 15-20 knots of wind, which is not ideal.
So after a bit of a powwow with Steve, we decided to give it a crack. I was keen to get going with it because, yeah, who knows how long these conditions are going to hold, and also with the damage from the reef I wasn't sure what was going on under the waterline, and I wanted to get the boat out of the water and just get cracking on this repair job. So it was decided that he would pull with his boat, the other boys would pull with a rope that was tied in the front, and I would use my dinghy as a tugboat on the back, pushing and pulling, controlling the back of the boat, and yeah, we just got stuck into it.
Okay, so we started the job around 30 minutes ago, I would say. We were really worried how to go straight with this wind, but it seems that it was not too bad. Then with just the ropes and things, I think we ended quite okay. Now they are installing the pads, they put some foam and they are trying to position them. Vernon is under, Steve is under, all the employees of Steve are under. It seems to be quite a delicate job to position them all good. To be honest, I don't really know if it's going well or not. I'm not knowing enough about this, and especially with this kind of trailer. It's quite stressful, to be honest.
So after about 30 or 40 minutes of faffing about trying to get the boat positioned well, it was actually quite hard because, well, I wanted the pads to be on bulkheads and on the right places, but the boat kept getting pushed upriver by the current, and then a gust of wind would come down again, and then they'd lift the hydraulics up and put it on that tide, but it was in the wrong spot. And anyway, it took quite a lot of messing around, but finally we got the boat up, and Steve got in his excavator and pulled the whole thing out. I was quite surprised how it all worked, and it was actually a massive relief for me to be hearing the engines turn off, and we were like, okay, we're on land and we're safe for the moment. We've been doing a lot of learning lately, and yeah, we've been doing some doing as well, so yeah. Anyway, we're in the boatyard, and I guess I can't even block it out. There's a lot of mosque noise going on. It's Ramadan right here in Lombok right now, and there's a mosque there, there's a mosque there, there's a mosque there. We're surrounded by bloody mosques, and you don't get the worst of it, believe me. They go all night, like literally from now, 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 9 o'clock in the morning without break. Anyway, so this is all about fixing Trade Runner and getting her back in the water again. First things first, I want to get the bent prop shaft out so that can start getting straightened up and worked on while I start working on the hulls. So to get that out, I've got to lift the rudder box out so that I can slide this out. So as you can see, this is the rudder box. I already lifted it up to come up this channel because it gives me, instead of 90 centimeters draft, it's only 60 with that up. I'll have to lift this whole thing out though so I can get the shaft out. You can see down here, the shaft is too long to come out without getting the rudder out of the way. So basically I'll just take this pin out and then attach a rope to the boom, and then with the topping lift winch the boom up and then lift this whole thing out. Okay, so I got the rudder out. The next thing is to disengage this prop shaft from the back of the gearbox and undo the stuffing box, and then go outside and just bang it out. It should come out relatively easy because I had both of these out about 6 months ago. So what it involves is this grub screw, undo these 4 screws on here, and then loosen this stuffing box out so it's not clamping too much on there. That's what stops the water coming in, and then that should be good. So I'm using the anode that's clamped onto the shaft just to sort of bang against, and hopefully just pop the shaft right out. Let's see. Alright, well I've basically popped it now. You can see there I've got that much out, but now I need to take the anode off because it's not going to go past there at all. Alright, I got the propeller off the end of this prop shaft. Came off relatively easy actually, I was surprised. There are the pieces. Yeah, quite easy. And now you can really see the bend in this thing. Look at that. If I hold it this way, I would guess that the boat just basically sat on a piece of coral right on that propeller, and the weight went on it and pressed it down. Who knows, you know, that maybe stopped us getting a hole in the hull. Maybe that was taking the weight, a lot of the weight, and also the skeg here. This here probably took a bit of the weight as well, but this isn't damaged at all. So I got the prop out. That's one big job done. Started to rain now, and it's probably about 4 o'clock. So yeah, I might not start with any sanding today. Might just start that fresh and early tomorrow. Might actually go up and edit a video for you guys. Without any videos out, we're not earning any money, and without earning any money, we're bloody going broke. So I might edit a video and get one out to you. Anyway, back to work tomorrow. Alright, bright new day. Very sunny, very hot. We're in the mangroves here too, so it's extremely hot. But it is what it is, we'll deal with it. I spared you the grinding part. I've been grinding for half an hour or so, and got the main parts, because see, I've sort of opened them up to see what's going on, and it's sort of relatively good news, I guess. I'll show you what's going on. So here's one part. This is a bit of a dent here. I'm gonna sand all this back. This is just with the grinder so far. So I've gone a lot bigger. This is all good fiberglass here. You can see here there's a little bit of it. That must have been where a sharp piece of coral was, but there's no water inside. There's no water here. It's not wet at all. So that'll just be a piece of fiberglass, another piece, probably 3 layers of fiberglass. And here I'll do this whole section, and then here it'll be the same, a small piece, 3 layers, and then some thickened epoxy. This is just scratching, and down here we've got no serious holes or anything. Well, there's no holes anywhere, but this is just deep scratching, grinding sort of where a coral head was just rubbing on here. So there's no pointy parts anywhere, it was just rubbing. So I've sanded that all back, and I'll probably put two bigger pieces of fiberglass on here, and then yeah, some thickened epoxy, and fair it all again. This is just sanding deeper scratches out. Yeah, and this here is the other part that's a bit worse. This is 2 places here where I knew were the worst places. So this one here, that's foam. So So it's down to the foam core, so through 3 or 4 layers of Kevlar even, so that was quite lucky. So that's a little bit damp there, so there's a bit of water got into that foam. So I've just sort of opened that up right around, and that'll be drying out now. And this heat, it'll go pretty quick. There's also breeze, which is really good. So I'm gonna let that dry out properly, and then I'll epoxy that, and then the same. Small one, big one, big one, maybe 4 layers on here. And then this one here, see, you can see some water dripping out of it, and this is foam in here. So I've dug that out a little bit, but this is all a bit damp, this foam. So the same thing, I'm gonna let that dry out. I'll probably grind a bit more around this whole patch actually, make it a bit bigger. This is probably the deepest one, but it's also right on the bottom rail. This is a solid of fiberglass or Kevlar rail that goes through here. So if it wasn't for that, that would have gone through and we would have got water in the boat. But luckily that was on the strongest part of the boat. And yeah, you can see here, this is just scratching where it was sitting on the reef. I've got to obviously sand that, but there's no damage or there's no need to fiberglass any of that. That's just through the 10 layers of paint that are on here. And other than that, there's no damage on the inside of the hulls, sort of on this side, nothing at all. So it was really just sitting on this side. So yeah, it's not terrible. It's not obviously awesome, but it's not terrible. I'm going to sand both hulls and anti-foul as normal while I'm out. This one's got a few barnacles on it. Yeah, that's just normal boatyard stuff. Yeah, so scraping all the barnacles off and then going over it with 80 grit on the orbital sander, rough it up a bit, and then I'll put 2 layers of anti-foul. I brought anti-foul with me.
Hello, it is early morning and I'm trying to enjoy this time of the day to have a little walk with Eli, because as you probably understand, this place is not really having any facilities and it's getting quite hot, and in the day in the boat it's kind of an oven, so it's good to have a little bit of time when it's cool, and it's also when it's quiet, because it's a Ramadan now, and in the night they are calling for the prayers and singing a lot, so we don't have really quiet nights. But now at this time in the morning it's super quiet, so it's pleasant to be along the river walking a little bit. It's a nice moment of the day.
I haven't done a lot of filming. I bloody hate filming when I'm in the boatyard, to be honest. I'll show you what I've done so far and we'll go from there. So I sanded most of the hull. I sort of dug out and sanded out all the damaged areas from the coral. This was quite a big one, but these were mostly just scratches. This was part, but as you can see, I've actually fiberglassed that. So the sort of little pointy dings, I put some thickened epoxy in them just to make a flat surface, and then I put a small circle, and then a big patch over top of that. What else have I done? Yeah, I sort of did the same here. I started to put a bit of bog around it, or a bit of filler around it already. Over here, same thing. I've done 3 layers on that one. This one here, you see, I've just put some thickened epoxy on there to fill up the hole, and then this will have 3 layers of glass over that. And here you can see these were scratches here, and I've just put thickened epoxy in them. And yeah, over on this side I actually found a couple of spots. So this was one here, there's 3 layers on there. This is just some thickened epoxy for a scratch. And that was also, yeah, and here was another little hole. So I put some glass on that. So I'm sort of, I've got one more place to glass, 3 little patches. It's pretty stormy weather at the moment, so when it looks stormy I haven't been doing any glassing or mixing any epoxy up, just because I don't want it to rain on it. So in between times I've been sanding this hull. So I've sanded all of this up to here. I'm actually making really good headway today. It's Sunday, there's no one around. My goal was to get back in the water by Friday, but at this stage it's possible we get there on Thursday, assuming that shaft can be straightened. Yeah, tomorrow we have to go to the city to go to immigration, so I won't be working tomorrow, but I'll get quite a bit more done today. It's only 2 o'clock, so I've got another 4 hours yet. All right, another day, another boat dollar. or 1,000. I finished sanding the boat, the hull, this morning. I'm to the washing down stage now. Took 3 days to get the water working here. So now I've got water, but it's not exactly, she's a little bit limp, but at least I can spray a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to wash this side, wash all the hulls down inside and out, and put on some primer. Yeah, that'll dry tonight, and then tomorrow will be anti-fouling, and that should be it. I just jammed the shaft back in. I'm going to put the propeller on that soon. I'll show you that, and then we'll try and rig up this water. I'm not sure it's enough. We'll try and rig up this water in the engine so I can start the engine up, put it in gear, and then we'll see how straight this propeller shaft is with the propeller on and it turning. It's not perfect, I know that already, but as long as it's not shredding things, it should be all right.
Yeah, sort of.
Okay, so here is our tiny contributions at Eli and me. We are putting the tape on the waterline, and Vernon gonna put the anti-fouling probably this afternoon. That's quite hard to see Vernon working by himself and not being able to help much, but I suppose it is how it is with a small baby. As you can see, it's already super sunny and I can't stay in the sun that much with him, and anyway, like, he needs a lot of care and he's asking a lot of time to be entertained, and yeah, I can't do much. And even the kind of products, the dust, the paint, everything, you don't really want to be close with a small baby. It could be toxic. But yeah, Vernon did an amazing job. I can't believe in so short time how he worked as crazy. Like, he was really a machine on this one. Yeah, it was definitely not really fun to have to do all of that, but he did it really well. He managed really good the whole job, and yeah, he's kind of amazing in this kind of situation, really.
All right, we're starting to wrap this project up. So I got one layer anti-foul on the whole boat. Just finished up with that half an hour ago. I'm waiting another couple of hours, and then I'll get another coat on. I hardly slept last night because it was so hot here. It was extremely hot, and I had been sanding some fiberglass, like the patches, and I was so itchy. I was like sweaty and itchy lying in bed, and I think until about 3 o'clock in the morning I didn't sleep. And then yeah, Eli started kicking me at 6, so not a very good night's sleep, and I'm really feeling it today. I'm pretty much dead, but I got enough in me to put another coat of anti-foul on. Good morning. Final day, I guess, is day number 5. The boys have just been here and lifted the boat back up, put the weight on the trailer again, and then taken all these blocks here out that were under there, so that I can go ahead and put some primer on here and then a couple of coats of anti-foul. So after we pulled the masking tape off the waterline, packed up all the tools and got all the boat ready to go again, the boys come down, turned the engines on, and Steve pushed us back down the ramp and into the water. We got just the back of the boat in first. We weren't floating, but I wanted to have the engines on and do a complete test of the port side propeller, forwards and reverse, make sure the thrust was going, make sure there wasn't any leaks, make sure there wasn't any vibrations, things like that. Did that for a few minutes, got the all clear. He pushed us back in a few more meters, we floated off, and off we went. Going down through the channel again under our own power felt pretty good. Marie got some pretty awesome drone shots of that. She's not driving the drone very often, so this was a great effort. We soon got back down to Lembar, down to the main harbour, dropped the anchor, and wow, we were pretty stoked that this little adventure was over. Thank you very much, guys. Terima kasih.
Okay, see ya. If you need any more help, you know our phone number.
Definitely do. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye, come get the tea.
They call you Captain Kachil. That means
Baru.
Captain Baru, yeah.
The new captain.
New captain, but the small Captain Kachil. Yes, you are. All right, what do you reckon? That go pretty good?
Yeah, at the end, like, if we are taking in account that we are in Indonesia and it's really not easy, I think it went pretty good. But I'm so happy to be back on the water.
Oh, so nice, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it all went quite smoothly going in. We got out without a problem. I sort of saw a metre under the boat at one stage, but that was the shallowest. And yeah, I just gave the boat a test around the harbour. We got 8 knots under motor, so we're flying along. There's no vibration out of the portside propeller. Well, nothing more than I could, you know, feel any other time. So that means the propeller's doing good. Forwards, backwards works really good. So yeah, we're doing pretty sweet. That's, you know, a couple of grand we didn't really want to spend, but man, it could have been so much worse. Yeah. We could have been back to a monohull, but it would have been like a shitty monohull because it was a cat that just had one hull left. It wouldn't have worked very good.
Still have some paint on you.
Oh yeah, I've got paint. Look at my toes. But that's just haul out yard style. You have paint on you until it grows off, so a couple of weeks. Hey baby. Anyway, well, that's the end of that video. We're really gonna bloody get the hell out of here and do some sailing and some adventuring now after this.
We are so tired of the work.
Yeah, well, like, speaking of tired, I'm like nearly shaking.
Even in the videos, like showing just boat jobs are not that fun for us.
No.
Really hope we're gonna show.
And you guys that follow us, you don't follow us for the bloody boat work either. You know, I do a bad job of filming it, like I've said many times. It's part of life, but we don't want to show it. We're not building our channel on boat work anyway.
And we are not building our life around boat work.
No. I'm getting pretty good at it now though, bloody hell. I think this is the 3rd boat, probably the 10th haul out. Getting pretty good at it. Not that I'd ever take it up as a profession, but anyway, thanks patrons. You guys are awesome. Really, I mean, obviously we say this every week, but we do mean it. We speak with you guys, some of you all the time, some of you we never hear from, but that's fine as well. And the support is the same, you know, the support is amazing from you guys. It really, really is. Can't say it enough. This little guy.
Thanks for watching.
All right, we'll see you next week. We'll be on the move somewhere.
Bye bye.
Later.